you're a local business owner and you've spent thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, well, you just might be wasting your money, because the local businesses that are crushing it with Facebook ads right now aren't the ones with the biggest budgets or the prettiest creatives. They simply figured out which parts of the system actually move the needle and which parts they should completely ignore. Now, back when I was running Facebook ads, I'd burned through weeks of testing trying to figure out what was actually working. But after managing over $100 million of ad spend across 20 industries, including a Florida home service client that we took from no consistent lead pipeline to over $1 million in revenue in the first 5 months, I figured out exactly which parts of a local business campaign actually matter and which parts most people obsess over for no reason at all. So in this video, I'll walk you through the 5 parts of a Facebook ad campaign that actually move the needle for a local business, so you can start filling your pipeline with new customers every single month, instead of burning through your budget on ads that go absolutely nowhere. Now, most local business owners lose money in the first 3 minutes of opening the ads manager. And the crazy part is they don't even realize it, because the damage gets done by one setting they pick before they even written a single word of copy. See, when you hit create inside the ads manager, Facebook is going to hit you with 6 different objectives: awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, and sales. Here's the thing, for a local business, only 2 of those matter, which is engagement and leads. The other 4, do not use those. Everything else is built for e-commerce or applications, and it's going to burn your money on traffic that never converts. Or it's a brand campaign that is not gonna really help you scale. So between these 2, which one should you actually pick? Well, for almost every single local business, leads is the answer. Because engagement campaigns, they are used to push direct messages into your accounts. And for most, you're gonna get unqualified people just asking questions. You'll waste hours answering and not getting a return. Whereas leads campaigns actually capture someone's name, phone number, email, which means you can call them, text them, and put them in a sequence of emails that happen after they sign up. Now, inside the leads campaign itself, you have 2 paths. You can use either an instant form, which is a Facebook hosted form that pops up right inside the platform, or you can send people to your own website or landing page with a real form on it that has much more intricate questions. And the choice between those 2 changes everything about the kind of leads that you get. Instant forms are typically cheap Facebook pre-fills and the person's info that the whole thing takes 5 seconds to submit. But quality is going to be lower because there's no real commitment to fill it out. Website leads, on the other hand, they cost a lot more per lead because the person has to click through, read your offer, actually type in their info, but by the time they hit submit, they're way more qualified. So which one should you actually go with? Well, it depends on what you're optimizing for. And for most local businesses, they get this part wrong every single time, because cost per lead doesn't actually matter. What actually matters is your cost per acquisition. What I mean by that is I've had campaigns where a single lead costs $200, but 1 out of 3 of those converts into a paying customer, which works out a $600 cost to acquire a customer that paid a lot more than that. And I've also had campaigns generating leads for under $1, where it took 1,000 leads to close 1 sale, which works out to about $1,000 cost to acquire a customer. So which one is cheaper, the 200 leads or the $1 lead? I'd say it's the $200 lead by a long shot. And this is the mindset shift that most local business owners never make, and it's quietly costing them every single month. And real quick, you guys, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, so do me a favor, hit that subscribe and like the video. I'd appreciate it. Now, once you've got the right campaign objective locked in, the next thing that matters more than anyone realizes is who actually sees your ad. Because targeting is where local businesses have an unfair advantage that almost nobody uses. And the gap between local business owners who get it and the ones that don't is sometimes 5 times in results. So how do you actually take advantage of this? So when you set up your location, Facebook gives you a few different options to play with. You can target a country, a state, a city, a custom pin on a map, or a specific zip code. And for local service businesses, the city with a radius is your starting point. But the real unlock is 2 layers deeper than that. The first move is to drop a custom pin on your actual business address, and then set your radius based on how far your customers realistically travel or you travel to them. For most local services, that's somewhere between 10 and 20 miles tops. If you go any smaller, Facebook won't have enough people to optimize against, but if you go any bigger, you're just burning your budget on people who would never really drive to buy from you anyways. And the second move is where it gets really interesting, because you can target specific zip codes in bulk. So let's say you sell something on the higher end, let's say a $20,000 backyard install where most people inside your radius can't actually afford that. What do? Well, it's pretty simple. You pull a list of zip codes in your area where the average household income matches your buyers, and then you paste them in bulk inside the targeting field. I've done this countless of times, and it is a cheat code. Now, you're only going to spend money on people who can actually afford the thing that you sell. And this one move has changed the math for clients of mine in home service and other high-ticket local categories. Now, for age, I usually always start it at 25 if I'm targeting young professionals, and bump that up to 35 if I'm targeting homeowners or parents. Gender, really, it's useless. You just want to keep that open. There's no specific reason to pick one or the other. And one more thing on targeting that almost nobody talks about is that detailed targeting still works for local businesses, no matter what Meta keeps telling you. So if you're a dog trainer, you would layer dog training as an interest on top of your audience. And if you want to get even more refined, you would add a second required interest like dog food, because if someone is buying dog food, almost certainly owns a dog, right? Just don't stack more than 3 interests deep, otherwise the audience just gets too small for the algorithm to optimize. Now, once you have the right objective and the right targeting locked in, the next thing that decides whether someone stops scrolling and clicks on your ad is the creative itself, which in my opinion is the most important part. And this is where most local business owners, they overthink it, truly, because the more stupidly simple your ad looks, the better it tends to perform. I've tested across more than 20 industries, and the most polished, professional-looking creatives almost always lose to a clean, kind of ugly, offer-focused image made in Canva in 15 minutes. Why? Well, Facebook users aren't actually looking at your ad. They're skimming it, which means you have about 2 seconds to communicate what you're offering, who it's for, and why they should care. And if they have to read a paragraph or listen to a 1-minute video to figure out what you do, well, you've really already lost them. So the formula for a high-converting local ad is brutally simple, and it has only 4 parts. You start by calling out your audience location, like Tampa residents, San Diego homeowners, whatever city your business serves. From there, the offer goes in plain English, something like 0 down for solar or 50% off your first visit. Next is urgency, which could be limited spots or an expiration date or a customer cap. And the last piece is a clear button and call to action. That's the entire ad. Because frankly, the only thing that really matters here is whether the offer is good enough to stop the scroll or not. I mean, you could hire Netflix to film your ad, but if your offer is weak, nobody's going to opt in. Now, here's something I really want you to think about. When someone in Tampa sees Tampa residents in your ad, their brain instantly reads it as like, this is personal, which is why generic ads in local markets leave money on the table every single day. And almost nobody is doing this in your zip code right now. And if almost nobody is doing this in your zip code right now, that is the gap you should be exploiting. I have a dog trainer client that I built a single ad for back in July of 2023, and it was nothing fancy. It was just a simple image I made on Canva. It took me about 15 minutes to put together, but she's been running that same exact ad 3 years later. She's doing about $60,000 a month off of $2,800 in ad spend with 6 months on her waitlist. And honestly, I can't remember the last time we had to refresh that creative, because the offer is so strong and the message is so clear, and that beats production value every single time. Now, once your creative is doing its job and people are actually clicking, the next question is, how much should you actually spend to even know if this is working? And there's a rule I always follow here that saved lots of business owners from wasting money. But real quick, before I get into that, if you want to learn more about running paid ads at a deeper level, everything I'm teaching you in this video, plus a ton more, is part of my free click-to-client course. I walk you through the exact campaign setups, creative templates, follow-up systems, and budgets that I use for my personal clients. So if you want access to it, I'll leave the link down below in the description. You can grab it, it's completely free. Now, the spending rule I always follow is pretty simple. You take the price of your product or service and you multiply it by 2.5. That's the minimum you need to spend per ad to know whether it actually works or not. So if you sell a $200 service, you need at least $500 in testing budget per ad. And if you sell something closer to $1,000, that number becomes $2,500. And this works specifically because Facebook needs about 50 conversions before it actually learns who to show your ad to. Which means if you cut the campaign before then, you're killing it right before it would have started working. And that 2.5x rule is just a per ad threshold. So if you're running 5 ads, you have to multiply that out, which means 5 ads at $250 each, you'd need $1,250 total to give this test a fair shot. Now look, if you can't afford that right away, you're not actually ready for paid ads, and that's okay. You should be reinvesting into your reviews, your website, your offer first, because spending $200 on Facebook ads when your fundamentals are broken is just lighting your money on fire, so it's better to not spend it. Now let's say your ads are actually working. Here's where people mess up. The biggest mistake I see at this point is what's called vertical scaling, which means when your ad's doing well, you increase the campaign budget from, let's say, $20 a day to $200 a day overnight. Do not do this. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, vertical scaling breaks the campaign because the algorithm resets, performance tanks, and you spend the next week trying to claw it back. So what do you do instead? It's called horizontal scaling. So if an ad is working at $20 a day, instead of taking that to 40, just duplicate it. You'll have two $20 ad sets running at the same time, and the algorithm doesn't have to relearn anything because every time you duplicate it, it keeps its own data, and you'll have another additional ad set that is scaling. Because 5 copies of a winner at $20 a day is a way safer way to get to $100 a day than by just changing the budget. And one more rule here that I like to use is called the 80-20 split, which means that once you find your winners, you want to put 80% of your budget into proven ad sets and use the other 20% to keep testing new creatives, new audiences, new angles, whatever it may be. Because here's the thing, every winning ad has a shelf life. The ads that absolutely print money for you today, they might stop working in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, they might stop working tomorrow. And if you're not constantly testing fresh variations, you'll wake up one day and your entire ad account will be dead, and you'll have no idea why. Now, this is the exact approach we've used to take an insurance client from $50 a day, generating 1 to 2 leads a day, to over $2,000 per day with more than 9,000 leads per month in just 90 days. But if you nail the campaign objective, the targeting, the creative, and the budget math, there's still one part of running ads that local businesses, that 90% of business owners get completely wrong, and I'm talking about speed to lead. This has nothing to do with the ads themselves, but it has to do with your conversion. So if you contact the lead within 5 minutes of them filling out your form, your chances of closing them are dramatically higher than if you wait an hour, maybe even 24 hours. Because after 24 hours, that lead is basically dead in the water. So before a single dollar on Facebook is spent, you need to know who is answering the leads, who is calling them, what the call script is, what the text message that fires automatically should look like, and what the email sequence does over the next 7 days. And if you think that you'll just figure it out when the leads start coming in, that's the worst approach you could ever take. Because I've seen this story way too many times. A local business generates 80 leads in a month, ignores 60 of them because they couldn't keep up, and closes maybe 2 deals out of the whole batch. And then they say Facebook ads don't work. And then they eventually end up walking away from Facebook ads because for their industry it doesn't work, or whatever excuses they're giving themselves. When ads were actually just fine, the follow-up was the entire problem. So here's the system you want to build before you ever launch a single campaign. You want an automated text message that fires the second someone submits a form. A real person calling that lead within 5 minutes during business hours, a multi-day email sequence catching the leads who don't pick up the first time, and CRM tracking so that every lead doesn't fall through the cracks. The tool I like to use is Go High Level because it handles the CRM, the text follow-up, the email sequence, the calendar, all in one place. So once you set it up, it runs by itself. Because the truth is, the ad is maybe 30% of the equation. The other 70% is what happens in the 30 minutes after the lead comes in, which means if you fix this one thing before any dollars are spent on ads, you'll close more deals the next month than you ever did in your entire campaign's history combined. Now, again, everything I just walked you through is part of my Click to Client free course, just way deeper. I break down the full campaign setup, the creative templates I use across 20 plus industries, the Go High Level automations that handle your follow-up, the budget math so you know exactly when to scale and when to kill. It's completely free, and if you want access to it, the link below is down in the description. And if you want to see this stuff in action inside real ad accounts, then watch this next video where I audit lead campaigns live, and trust me, you're probably making some of the same mistakes as him. So I'll see you over there.